What's happening, folks? My name's Greg, and we're here for part 2 with Mr. Cody Luce. Welcome, Cody.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, even though he's been here for about 40 minutes, we're still saying welcome because we're just that fired up about it.
Let's go.
So what we're going to do, we're going to focus on the entrepreneurial grind because Cody's got his own business. It used to be Mighty Clean, and now...
Specialty Exterior Works. We just rebranded here in the last couple weeks.
Specialty Exterior Works. Now, mind you, folks, I've sent Cody some business, and I've seen the before and after photos. Even did work on my own home, and he does a great job. So if you're in Austin, in and around Austin, and you need some work done, such as?
So we do pressure washing, window cleaning. We'll do interior and exterior painting, gutter cleaning, anything that increases the curb appeal of your home. Need to spice it up a little bit, let us know, and we'll be there.
Awesome. So what I'd like you to do today, as we talked about just a second ago, is please walk us through, because you started this business from the idea to where it is now, which is you got a staff, you got your own vehicles, etc.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been quite the journey. I'll kind of take it back to the early days of where it originated.
Yeah.
So went to so obviously from Victoria, South Texas, kind of where the rescue story just kicked off from. But being raised from my dad mainly is kind of gave me a lot of drive to be super hard worker. Growing up, he was in the oil field, and I kind of, being a baby, going out to location with him. And so it's in my blood, right? It just from the early days of, from what I remember anyways. So back, he started in the gas compression field. And I always looked up to my dad as my idol, right? So he kind of gave me the drive, and just anything that we ever did, out on our farm, it was hard work. It wasn't easy being a youngster running around with chickens and cows and horses. There's a lot of responsibility there, and having to go to location with him sometimes back when you could do that. No hard hats required and whatnot, but
the good old days.
Exactly. But seeing that there's a whole culture around the industry he was in. And I just grew up around that and engulfed, in that culture, and just blood, sweat, and tears, so it started off kind of learning from him. And whenever I got into middle school, high school, college, you start thinking about what does my life look like? What do I enjoy doing? What do I want my life to look like in 5, 10, 15 years, right? So you start kind of putting pen to paper and kind of building a plan, and I really didn't have much of a plan, to be honest. It's
You're like, I'm 15.
Yeah.
What am I going to do in the next 15 years
Exactly.
now? I think we're just going to go eat some lunch.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But so I kind of started looking at him as my idol. And, what has he done? Has he been successful? And he had been at that time, kind of coming out of high school into college. He was running, VP of operations at a pretty big gas compression company at that time. And like I said, I kind of grew up in that space. All my friends were, his coworkers, kids that we grew up running around together, and it was just that culture that kind of sucked you in, and it gets in your blood.
Yeah.
So I wanted to follow in his footsteps, but wanted to go to college and get my engineering degree was my plan, and then get into a compression or oil field company that I could use my skills. And it didn't take long for me to get into college and figure out that wasn't quite the path for me. I'm very hands-on. Growing up on the farm, it was you're welding, cutting, using power tools. It's very intense, a lot of fun, tearing stuff up and then going and fixing it, right?
Yeah.
So looking at a book for 6 to 8 hours a day just wasn't my forte.
Nope.
And I did about 2 years of college, and one day, I was kind of at the end of my rope a little bit and looking for something that would kind of catch my attention. And coincident enough, my dad asked, he told me there was an opportunity but it wouldn't be easy, and he wanted me to think long and hard about it before I took it because his past was a rough road. It wasn't the glory that I'd seen at that time, the last 5-10 years of me growing up to get where he's at, right? So I thought about it, probably a day or two. It wasn't super long, but I knew that's the path I wanted to go down.
Was working with Pop.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was a warehouseman job out in West Texas. So running parts for a compression company that he worked for, and it was a good foot in the door. And so we did that I was with that company for 5 or 6 years. Went from running parts to purchasing agent in the office. Got tired of sitting behind a computer, wanted to get my hands dirty, so went into became a mechanic for him. Kind of worked my way up over 3 years to kind of the highest level you can get in, and got to the point where I really enjoyed working for the company. But another opportunity had to come up where some of the higher ups from that company branched off and started one from the ground floor, and I really wanted to be a part of that from the start, just to see the foundational growth of that company. So I jumped ship, told Dad I was going out on my own, and we're going to kind of pave this road, without his help.
Yeah.
So I did.
It was time.
It was. I think 2015, and the company had just started up, didn't have any equipment on the ground, and I was one of the first mechanics they hired in Texas, and I was with them for 4 years, and worked my way up from a runt out in turning wrenches all the way up to a regional operations manager over several areas. And that's kind of what was my job with them. Was I would bounce around to different areas, hire folks, and build that area up into kind of a thriving area, and then I would jump and do the same thing, just copy paste. And
it's awesome.
Yeah, we built that company up to when I was regional manager, I was over $36 million in revenue a month. So it was fun, managing the books, seeing the backside of a thriving business, having the foundation and that culture I talked about of taking care of your guys, taking care of your people. A lot goes into it. It's not just something you wake up one day and you want to. You think you have what it takes. You really got to live it and get your hands dirty.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Literally.
Yeah.
Right.
And, so we were over a ton of equipment. We washed them. We kept them running 24/7 on call. So we'd be 2-3 in the morning. If one of these pieces of equipment went down, we were there.
Are you kidding?
Trying
me?
to fix it.
Who was waking up at 2-3 in the morning?
Yeah, we were.
You had to though.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. And it was kind of a thrill seeker mentality for me. It's like, hey, what's wrong with this thing? Am I going to be able to fix it? How soon can I fix it? And what I'm going to learn from it.
Clock's ticking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Get to work.
That's exactly
it's kind of fun.
How it was. It was fun.
Yeah, you're hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and if you've ever been to West Texas and New Mexico, it's not just desert. It snows out there.
For real?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We get a couple inches on the ground and equipment starts dropping.
They must have some mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely do. But so long nights, a lot of hours, blood, sweat, and tears into a lot of equipment, and that really just kind of taught me on how to take care of not only your equipment but also your customer, the customer interaction side of it too, because you were making them money, you're making the company you're working for money, and it was just the average person go out there and collect a paycheck, and they're at the end of the day going home to their family. I was about 8 hours away from my family. I'd drive home
Jeez.
every other weekend just to see them, and then back out to work I go, and that's all. I slept that eat, sleep, and
work.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Dude, that's a grind.
Yeah. So work ethic wise, that's where that kind of came from, and I've been kind of grinding ever since. There was another opportunity that came up. The plan for that company was build it into a like $1 billion company, and you sell it. And that's kind of the vicious cycle that gas compression world lives in. and the bigger company comes in and turns it into you get into the corporate world and you become just a number, right? So it's time to, for me, it was time to start looking for another opportunity, and had come across this. There's a little bit more of a backstory to it. I probably don't have time for it today. Maybe a part three. But
Anytime.
So wanted to change, and did a complete 360 from the oil field, and I ended up going into the tech space. Actually here in Cedar Park, for a company that builds electric 18-wheelers, and called Hyliion. You may have heard of it, but they
I bought some stocks.
Yeah, did you?
I did, because I saw you were working there.
But yeah, it's been a roller coaster ever since, and so they were focused on 18-wheelers for the first few years I was there. It was a super exciting time. I was part of the leadership team there, and we ended up taking them public about a year and a half after I was there. So that was
What year was that?
2020. I think it was 2020.
Okay.
I believe, yep. And there was a ton of hype around it, seeing kind of the best of days, right, with just stock going up, and hiring people. We got on the New York Stock Exchange, going through that whole transition as a company was really cool to see, and something I hadn't experienced before. So always learning, always picking up new skills, and that was definitely a big one that was pretty awesome. And with good times comes bad times too, right? So, obviously we took it public. Everything was going great. We were in that EV space where in 20, with COVID, kind of went through that, and we kind of got into a tailspin in the later end of 21, coming into 22, and the products weren't selling like we wanted them to, right? With the whole EV space, there's just a lot of
skepticism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're not too sure which way it's going to go. You've got Tesla kind of on top doing their thing. And they've had a bumpy road as well, but being a startup, it was just different. Our product wasn't necessarily 100% proven. Customers aren't necessarily bought in. Because we haven't had the hours under our belt to say, hey, this is a viable product to put in your fleet and spend a couple $100,000 on a EV 18-wheeler, right? So, luckily, I think at that time our CEO pivoted towards a natural gas generator, which really caught my attention coming from the natural gas space.
Yeah.
Which we actually built some of our EV trucks were converting natural gas trucks or using a hybrid of natural gas and electric battery power. So that was pretty exciting.
It's high tech.
It was. Working on some big electric motors, some powerful lithium batteries. And these trucks are just awesome. I mean, if you've ever been in an 18-wheeler, I had the opportunity to drive one, and they're fun. I call it fun because it's not my 24/7 job, but
you're up there.
Yeah. And the power that the EVs, if you've ever been in a Tesla model, Plaid, they've just got a ton of power, and they're just a fun vehicle. So put that in an 18-wheeler, and we were doing burnouts in the back parking lot in a semi truck, right? So
oh my gosh, it's good marketing.
Yeah, it was. It was great marketing. Yeah. So with the ups comes the downs, and that product we ended up putting it on the shelf, and we had to downsize. So we did have a big layoff, and I was part of the layoff. I had the opportunity to go with a new company, but I had kind of seen from not only my dad's experience, but with this company too. It's like, do I want to continue going down this path, right? It's all about choices. And I wanted to be in control of my own destiny. So during that layoff, we had, like I said, we had the opportunity to go on and continue with that Carno generator is the product line that they pivoted to from the 18-wheelers. And I just wanted to change things up a little bit. It had been, a couple years with that company. I learned a ton. I'd been in a few different leadership positions, and really wanted, like I said, be in control of my own destiny. And I had wanted to go back kind of to my roots a little bit, and really enjoyed. So I've been dabbling in real estate kind of throughout that time. I really liked property management, taking care of assets. You're in the real estate space, it's a good space to be in. So a lot of opportunity there, and I wanted to try to model kind of the gas compression world of having equipment that, in this example, equipment is customer's property, right? That you can take care of. And going back to what I enjoyed doing was taking care of that equipment. And obviously customer service is a big factor as well in kind of all the roles I've been in, and I really enjoy that. Really love dealing with people, and wanted to get from the tech company, sitting behind a desk gets a little old after a while. Kind of similar to the gas compression story. I want to get out from behind the computer, so I want to get my hands dirty, and that's where Mighty Clean, which was the original name of the company, came into play. And it actually it started before the layoff with Hyliion, just as kind of a side gig, and kind of flourished into what it is today. It ended up, whenever I got laid off, I kind of took that as a sign of, hey, it's time to do this thing. Yeah. And I just jumped in, head first and took it on full time.
What was the first thing you did? Was it like establish your S corp or LLC? Or
yeah. So
that was step one.
So we go through and same with similar to the nonprofit. You go to the Secretary of State and get your LLC established. Pick a name, and finding an available name is always fun too. So there was step one, and then going and getting your insurance, getting some equipment. Obviously, before you do some of those steps, you want to make sure that your market is suitable for that business too. You want to make sure it's not too saturated or there's a demand for it, right? And in the Austin area, with our humid climates down here too, there's a ton of mold and mildew and algae that grow, in the area. And I just saw something I enjoyed doing, an opportunity to help customers as well, to go and clean up their properties, along with some of my own that I have, and just saw it kind of as a win-win as well, and kind of leads into more of a property management role as well at some point. But so Mighty Clean got established. I went out and bought a little walk behind pressure washer, loaded up in the bed of the truck, and had like 4-wheeler ramps to get it in the bed. Yeah. So I'm out there just hustling, and I was at the tech company making 6+ figures, and kind of like I said, I just jumped off head first into Mighty Clean and just figuring it out, figuring out the marketing, figuring out design. So I was designing some of my own content that I was putting out, and it's like, what all can I absorb from the start? Similar to the other startups, I wasn't as involved in some of those really early phases. Yeah. So a lot of that was learning experiences for me as well. But
it's all learning.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. No, it definitely is, and it's a challenge. If I like you're saying, stay fired up, and it's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. It's you wake up in the morning and it's like, you got to make things happen. It's not just going to be handed to you. So starting off with the pressure washer in the bed of my truck, and it's like, all right, where do I go from here? And just kind of step by step, getting a logo, getting your name out there, making sure people know who you are, doing a great job for them where you get referral service, and you keep coming back to that same customer. Yeah. And we take on pressure washing and window cleaning. We deal with both residential and commercial customers, and it's never a dull moment. It's always a new challenge that comes up with someone calling. They have a problem, and we got to come up with a solution on how to solve it. And it's not always just cleaning a window.
No, it never is.
No.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just buying a house.
Yeah.
No, dude. Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, it's a lot. So do you have a business plan for this?
Yeah. So I'd sat down before I went through the whole legal kind of kickoff of getting it established. And I've got a whole freaking chart that's probably as big as one of these walls with kind of my vision, right? It's you sit down, brainstorm, and figure out what the future holds and where you want to go with it, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want with, like most businesses. And it's all about the drive of that person. And
Did you follow a model? Oh my God, it's so sour.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. My editor likes to get clips of us doing these faces. Yeah. So, did you follow a model for your business plan? Did you get like a template somewhere, or did you come up with it on your own?
No, I would say it's a mix. There's kind of, I would call like a standard business model. You got to have, you got to have your accounting, you have to have your operations, you have to have your sales.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that and kind of tailoring it towards what works for me and what works for that current, situation. And it evolves over time like everything else. You learn, you get more efficient, and you just keep kind of rinse and repeat the things that work, and you figure out the things that don't work, and you just stop doing those.
Yeah.
And that's, these big companies, that's they've figured out the blueprint to make it what it grows into, right? A lot of small businesses aren't as lucky, right? They can't manage money. They don't know the finances. They don't know what they're looking at. They may be really good at going out and doing the job, but on the back end, if you're not counting your dollars and cents and making sure your money's going where it should be, and being financially responsible, it can get out from under you as well.
Well, you're an engineer, so you're detailed.
Try to be. Yeah, I've learned a ton of just process efficiency and laying out kind of step by step what do you need to do, at the bottom of the ladder to get to the top, at the quickest, and not just quickest, but the smartest way. So learning from other people's mistakes as well.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that make a lot of mistakes, and they're willing to share them.
Yeah. And like we had probably about a month ago, we had rebranded. We went from Mighty Clean to Specialty Exterior Works. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we did that, because Mighty Clean was a little bit too broad of a term to be able to go and trademark, and we wanted to have that ownership of the name as well. So we found a name that we could own 100% of the rights to, and went through the whole trademark process as well before we officially rebranded.
I just interviewed somebody.
Yeah.
He's a young buck. He owns a roofing company. Mm-hmm. He was in roofing for maybe 7 years or something like that, or maybe 5 to 7. And he said, you know what? I'm going to start my own company.
There you go.
Okay. So, a few years into it, he 3x'd his revenue this past year.
Nice.
Compared to the year before, right? And I said, how'd you do it? He says, we get a lot of leads that come in. So what I did was double down on my training for the people that talk to the leads.
Okay.
And then we started getting our conversion up.
Nice.
And then 3x. And then he just bought himself a McLaren.
Nice.
I'm thinking to myself, that's pretty fired up, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what would you say is a pain point in your business right now?
That scalability, having systems in place, and figuring out what knobs, whether it's marketing, to be able to get the leads in. But right, what you just said about your conversion rate, that's huge. You may be able to getting a ton of leads in, but if you're not converting them, then you're just kind of spinning your wheels, right?
Yeah.
So I would say the lead generation and conversions are always a constant battle.
How do you lead generate now?
So we do a lot of marketing, so paid ads. We go down the Google ads or Facebook ads.
Yes.
So we have to pay per click or pay per lead.
My business partner John Cronin for Elite League International. Make sure to go to eliteleagueinternational.com to learn more. He is ranked top 25 digital marketing experts in the world. He owns Proven ROI. Lives in North Central Austin, probably about 15 minutes from you, if that.
Nice.
And he'll get you on the number 1 SEO spot.
There we go.
Yeah. So I can gladly share his information.
That'd be awesome.
In case it makes sense for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We live in a digital world today, right? So as many faces as you can get in front of, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, man. So what's the big vision here? Because you're driven to see it succeed, right? You've got the skill set, the determination, the work ethic, all that stuff. So where do you see it in 5 years?
Yeah.
Are you going to franchise it? Are you going to sell it and do something else? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone down even before I started the company, looking into buying into a franchise. That's always an option. I think my current vision is, specialty brand, kind of being its own entity that own some smaller companies underneath it, especially Exterior Works being one of them.
Yep.
I would say my grand vision is, how can we help our customers? Our customers today, what are their biggest needs? And it's not always cleaning, right? It may be building. It could be just taking care of their assets, and whether it be their house or their yard. There's just a ton of needs out there for the homeowner or commercial property owner as well.
Yeah.
And we've kind of shifted the Mighty Clean model to this specialty Exterior Works model for a reason, because it's not, like I said, it's not just cleaning that we want to do. We want to be able to provide more services to our customers, and this has kind of allowed us to branch out a little bit more, and we're looking at more of, we want to be able to provide, building services, cleaning services, protection services to our customers, and that may branch out into more things in the next 5 years.
Sure.
So we've looked at landscaping, tree removal. There's another kind of a backstory that I know we're going to run out of time, and we're already over a little bit, so I apologize. But there's just fabrication as well, that whether it's adding on to someone's home, whether it be metalwork or home additions. We may get into that as well with kind of the real estate stuff that we're both dabbling in.
Yeah.
That is a big opportunity to be. I'd love to be a builder one day of custom homes or apartment homes. So that's always a
awesome
possibility. On the flip side, my dad runs a aluminum shop out of Victoria, and he works on a lot of boats. So he plays a big part kind of in this too, on where my future goes as well, and opportunity that lies ahead.
Yeah.
But he's got a whole fabrication shop focused especially specifically on aluminum right now for boats or lake houses, boat houses.
Fun.
Yeah. So
it's great.
Yeah, the future is very bright on the possibilities.
It sounds like you're open to, like, you want to still do this.
Sure.
It's just, how are you going to be going about it?
Right.
What are you going to implement in what you already offer? Right.
Yep.
And then from there, once you figure that out, it's like, how can you be the best at that thing? So let's say you do add tree services. Got to learn. Got to figure out how to do it.
Right.
Be the best.
Sure.
And then maybe add another thing. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's fired up, dude.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for you.
You
do great work. There's no doubt about it. Philip and Danny, raving reviews.
They're great. They're great customers.
And then, on Cutler Ridge too.
Yeah.
They're pumped for their work as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what it's all about. Satisfying the customer and making sure that they're happy with the final product. So.
That's right. And then you end it off with saying, "My pleasure," just like they do in Chick-fil-A.
There you go.
My pleasure. Just having fun, folks. How do you get a hold of you?
Yeah, so
some services.
You can hit us on our website, specialtyexteriorworks.com. We've got all of our services listed there, and we're constantly growing, evolving, adding to those. But yeah, if we can help you out in any way with your commercial or residential needs, we're there for you.
SpecialtyExteriorWorks.com, folks. You heard it here first. Cody Luce, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you. I'm your host, Greg Carlson, Elite League Podcast. Till next time, everybody, stay fired up.